Hi, I'm Ed Highland. This is DDW TV, and I have the great honor of being joined now by AGA President John Inadomi. Thank you so much for coming by and joining us. I want to talk about your plenary session, obviously a subject near and dear to your heart. And you talked a lot about diversity, equity, and inclusion in our field. Can you share some of the takeaways from that session?
Sure, thanks. I think that the most important part is, it's my grandfather's motto, which is, don't talk, act. I think we're way beyond the time where we just need to raise awareness of racism, inequities. I think it's time for action. And I think that's what I really want to get through and come through in my plenary session. I'm not going to go into detail now, but I have the 5 Ds, ways to actually interact and disrupt harassment of people who are, when you see racism. I think this is something quite actionable. The other thing I want to do is I realize that all of us have certain unconscious biases. And I want to try to get people to raise their unconscious to conscious bias so they can actually purposely choose to be racist or hopefully anti-racist. And those are the main themes of my talk.
Does this also include members being perhaps ambassadors, spreading the message of inclusion and the need for diversity?
Exactly. I hope that, this is a more than science, right? This is beyond the field of gastroenterology, hepatology. This is something I believe that we can lead in. And as an organization, I want to be able to provide that kind of standard by which our members can actually become ambassadors for anti-racism.
How can GIs take action to increase DEI in gastroenterology?
Yeah, sure. So actually the plenary session will have a variety of speakers. One will be in particular Dr. Monica Webb-Hooper from the NIH. And increasing minority participation in clinical trials is a huge thing. Right now the problem is that we have all these very homogeneous populations in clinical trials. I mean, if we don't actually include our minority populations, we never really know how they react to the certain medications and such.
And is this an increasing problem as we become a more diverse community and talk about the United States and the world in general?
Yes, definitely. You're right. You hit the nail on the head. This is a problem that's increasing, and it's something we have to embrace and something we have to really understand and get ahead of. I think, again, what the AGA wants to do is provide that platform so we can reduce those disparities based on sex or race, and actually increase the diversity of the workforce as well. Not just caring for our patients, but also ensuring that the people in our workforce are a diverse population.
And you're asking people to actually do a little more work, because you have to reach out to the communities to make sure you are able to involve a more diverse, whether it's a study or a patient group.
Yeah, I agree. So that only about 20% of a person's well-being or even quality of life or even life expectancy is based on their health care. 80% are the social determinants of health. And if we're going to be actually improving the health of the population, if we're actually going to get, as we say, a world free of digestive disease, we have to go beyond what just that 20% of healthcare. We've got to expand to those other social determinants of health that we really impact our patients, including wealth and poverty, food security, and job security, those kinds of things. Those are really important aspects that we'll have to get hold of.
As your presidency comes to an end, what are you going to take away from this experience? As we were chatting before, this has been a 4-year commitment for you, not just being president for 1 year, but a 4-year commitment.
Yeah, in many ways, it's a little bit sad. I've been part of the AGA committees and for 30 years, and now it's like the end of the line. It's like, what else do I do, right? But at this point, I think it's time for me to give back. Right? I've done a lot of these things that's really helped my career. I've built my network. And at this point, I really feel like it's my job to then pass the baton to the next generation, the next group of gastroenterologists and hepatologists that will lead the AGA forward.
And just as a final quick question, could you give us an idea on why should GI professionals become members of AGA? Make that pitch for the commercial, if you will.
Oh gosh, yeah. It's the same thing that I have some of my best friends I've met through the AGA. People around the world you never would have met unless it's part of the organization. And the other part is, again, a lot for me, developing my career. And probably the most important is giving back and realizing that in the AGA, you have a voice, not just a national but international voice, where you can actually make a difference. And we have had several examples of what we can give, but I won't get details, but you can really give back. You can really make a difference. And it's something you can do outside of your own home institution. And you can only do that through an organization like the AGA.
John Inadomi, thank you so much for chatting with us and also for your service to AGA.
It's my pleasure. Thanks so much.
This is DDW TV. Thanks for joining us. If you'd like to see other video highlights, be sure to check out the webpage.